good evening and welcome to All About Sport, live from the top of the town studios, Connolly Street, Cavan, on your local channel, cavantv.com. Each week we will continue to include a wide variety of sport from all around County Cavan. If you would like your sport featured on All About Sport, simply contact drumlinmedia@gmail.com. This show will be live on the internet on cavantv.com every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. and on Smith's Cablevision. Cavan TV heads for Breffni Park this week.
Yes, Louise, we're in Breffni Park, and not alone are we in Breffni Park, we're one of in the inner sanctums of Breffni Park, with Declan Woods, the PRO of the Cavan County Board. We're in the Cavan team dressing room. Declan, Cavan GAA is going through a bit of a purple patch these days.
Well, I suppose, Brian, Cavan County Board have always been promoting and always looking to acknowledge the fact that there's a lot of very hard work going on behind the scenes with all our teams, from underage right up through our coaches who do a phenomenal job in organising our development of our development squads, etc. And that's under our coaching officer, Tony Brady. Right the way through to our competing teams at minor level, into obviously on the 21 level, and of course now more recently with junior level, okay, on the junior stage nationally. People generally will gauge how a county board are going and how a county are performing based on their senior team, but it is important, as I said, to look at it as an overall operation and to see how other teams are getting on. A number of years ago, Cavan took the bold move of applying to play in the Leinster junior football final, on the basis that there wasn't a junior competition in Ulster. For the last 3 years, Cavan have contested the final in that competition, beaten by Louth in their first year, beaten last year by Kildare in Newbridge, but this year, third time lucky, they were very convincing winners, well worth their win in Newbridge on last Wednesday evening, a match I know that you were at, and in fairness it was a great lift, a phenomenal lift for Cavan supporters. But the bigger picture is that it's creating an outlet for a feeder group of players for the senior team, and that was no more evident than on Sunday in Enniskillen, where Dara Ty earned the right to a start, and Declan McKernan came on after being potentially one of our key players, a potential case for man of the match in that junior match in Newbridge. And again, those two guys finished off where they had started in Newbridge and gave phenomenal performances for the Cavan senior team. Yeah,
well, Terry spoke to us on one of our shows. He said that he felt it was very important that players needed to be playing at every level, so that they can keep up their fitness levels and their skills levels, and with that level not being available in Ulster, it was natural for them to go that level, and getting success, it means that it can make a major contribution, as you say, to senior level football.
Absolutely, and of course I think it's how people look at a competition, how the preparation is done, and again, as has been evident in everything that has been done with our teams, the professional approach to how our juniors were prepared. Our juniors were in training with our seniors. It also creates an added presence to the panel for training matches amongst the seniors and the juniors. And you have now a situation where we have a very good senior panel, but guys in the senior panel are looking over their shoulders to see who from the junior panel is going to be coming in, and obviously guys on the junior panel will undoubtedly aspire to make it to the senior panel.
Yeah, so it used to be a case that not necessarily in Cavan, but in other places, people were saying it was harder to get off the team than it was to get on the team.
Well, that's definitely not the case anymore in Cavan. We have a very committed bunch of players who give their absolute all to the jersey that they pull on in this dressing room here on any given Sunday that they go out to play. Yeah.
Another important event that came up on Friday was the Golf Classic, the Club Breffni Golf Classic, and that was to help support all the clubs, the 40 clubs in the county, to develop football at underage level, so that they can also feed in and retain players right up to senior level.
Yeah, well, Club Breffni is I suppose the main fundraising arm of Cavan County Board. As a board, we're phenomenally lucky that we have a terrific bunch of sponsors that even through the recessionary times have stepped to the plinth and have always been there to assist Cavan County Board in the preparation of our teams and in the running of our competitions and different things like that. But there was an obvious need for an additional fundraising group, because we've continued with I suppose the creation of facilities with our 3G facility and with improvement to our grounds here and ongoing work in Kingspan Breffni Park, and with the improvement of coaching and adding to additional coaches and things like that. So in order to do that, the Club Breffni arm was formed under the chairmanship of Jerry Brady this year from Ghana. One of the ideas was to have the Golf Classic. Now, in Dublin for the last 22 years, we've had the Supporters Club Dublin branch, who have successfully run Golf Classics, but rather than having two separate wings, it was decided that there would be a Club Breffni, and Club Breffni encompasses everyone. So to try and bring their big event back home to Cavan, and it took place in the Slieve Russell, as you quite rightly said, Brian. Again, we were delighted with the response from both Dublin and Cavan, from people who...
Yeah, Jerry had 4 teams down from Dublin.
That's right. Well, one of the most important things, of course, was that we had a main sponsor. We had a very, very generous main sponsor in Vincent Kelly. Vincent will be well known to Cavan people.
Vincent,
very well known to Cavan people as a Bailieborough native who would have managed Bailieborough, managed Den, and also would have played at under 21 level when he was of that age, as the saying goes.
Yeah, well, we were there in the Slieve Russell both in the morning and the evening for the presentation, so we'll be putting that out as a separate piece on the web and on the cable system in the town, because we spoke to some of the players and to Jerry, and we spoke to them both on the tee box as well, a bit of fun that they had there. So it wasn't pure sport, it was a social event as well as the fundraising for the clubs. But that'll be going out as a separate piece on the web, so because it's too detailed to include in our All About Sport show. But also we were in Brewster Park, another successful start to, albeit through the qualifiers, but I suppose Terry took over a team that probably wasn't just maybe fully confident within themselves, but they had the skills. But Terry now seems to have fine-tuned them quite well, and they're developing along a very positive lines.
Well, I suppose the important thing to point out is first off that Cavan started a journey under the last manager, under Val Andrews, and that journey has progressed. And they're going on the same journey, we just have a different driver, okay? But there's no doubt that the journey was started with Val Andrews, and I think all of our players would acknowledge that, and we as a board would acknowledge that, and Terry would acknowledge that. There was an awful lot of work put in at strength and conditioning and in introduction of that to Cavan, and in fairness, Val was instrumental in that.
So Val probably came in when the players were at their youngest, and coming into a team at that level, it was probably difficult to get results. Those things are normally a 3-year to 5-year.
Yeah, we would have been at a juncture, and there was a need for changes and a need for rebuilding, and I suppose there was some brave decisions had to be made, and those decisions were made, and we proceeded onwards. Unfortunately, as we've all talked about, it hit a rocky period at one point, but we've moved on from that. But undoubtedly, the fact that Cavan have won a game in the championship is always
a comprehensive win as well.
And we haven't. Our last win in the championship was in 2010 over Wicklow, out here in Kingspan Breffni Park. So it is important to be winning at that level. This year, without doubt, was probably the strongest preparation that a Cavan team made for the competition, for the qualifiers, and that our team were back in action, our panel were back in action on the Monday after the Donegal defeat. Now, there's no doubt we were disappointed with the Donegal defeat, but Cavan were in no way disgraced by it. Cavan put in a very strong performance. There were a number of it was a good workmanlike performance with a number of star performances from a number of players.
We spoke to Terry after the game, and he wasn't despondent at all, because he knew that with just coming in, that he knew the potential was there, and he had dealt with a lot of them earlier on in other teams, so he knew that they were going to grow into a good team.
Yeah, and there's no doubt the biggest asset that this team have is that they have an ability to knuckle down, an ability to work for each other and work for their jersey. There's some very, very talented footballers, as you just said, Brian, there's no doubt about that, but as a group they work tirelessly together, and that was seen in that on Sunday in Brewster Park when they were up against it. And when we bear in mind that with 10 minutes into the second half, 25 odd minutes to go, Cavan were 6 points down, but they had a belief in themselves and they grounded out, and obviously the three goals were
drawn
huge
on their experience of winning in previous ages that the under 21 and minor. There were
obviously a group of players that have come through with a winning mentality don't want to leave any field ever losing, and there's no doubt about that, and they put in the shift and they empty their tank. But they're a good group of players. They have put in the effort. They deserved their win. They were fully deserving of the win, and we're delighted for them, delighted as a board, delighted for our supporters who travel in numbers. And as we've been referring to them on Twitter, the 16th man, the players all acknowledge and are delighted with the support that they get. And we just want to see more people coming out. And obviously, in preparation for our next match, we definitely want to see as many Cavan people in there wearing the blue jerseys.
Well, no doubt there'll be a lot of Cavan people for the next game, as we all know, that's in the press and newspapers and television. They were drawn against Kildare, and of course the talk about the move of Shawnee Johnson from Cavan. Both he was a Gales member and also a former county member of the team. So Terry obviously is planning as normal if it was just any other team, but no doubt the spectators and the press and the media will have a great interest in the clash between the two teams.
Yeah, I think in fairness probably the greatest interest and the greatest fuel to this story has probably been the media, with no disrespect to anyone in the media outlets. It has been the media that has kept it fueled, and it's the media that have kept it punching along, because obviously it helps to sell papers and fill column inches, and that's the way that sector work, and we all need the media, because the media will obviously help us to promote our games and carry it forward. But look, these things go hand in hand with it. From a Cavan point of view, I think it's very clear. We are now in the second round of the qualifiers of the All-Ireland Championship. Kildare are a team that are probably 4 or 5 years down the road ahead of Cavan from a preparation point of view, and we would acknowledge that. They're a team that the experts in the country have been stating have been in the top 4, and it means that we have a lot of preparation to do for it. And that's the focus that Cavan will have.
Right. So
on Kildare
apart
as a
from
team,
the issue of Shawnee, because there's 30 on the panel, presumably there's around 30 on the panel, so one individual can win a game, and there's probably players equal and maybe even better now if they're there in development for 4 years. So it's only, as you say, a media thing really, but it creates great interest, and presumably that'll reflect on the turnstiles on the day. Yeah,
well, look at when people open their programme on Sunday week, and we have confirmation that it will be a 3 o'clock match on Sunday the 15th in Kingspan Breffni Park. When people open their programmes, they'll see 26 players named for Cavan and 26 players named for Kildare. Obviously, from a media point of view and from an outside point of view, people will zone in to see will one particular name be on it. But as far as we're concerned in Cavan, we would see that we have a bunch of players wearing blue jerseys who will train in Cavan, come into these dressing rooms 2 to 3 nights a week, go out onto the field to do their training, and that's who we're focused on.
So Terry's preparation will be on all the players at Kildare and their skills and expertise in different parts of the field, not just on one individual.
I would be very sure of that, but I'd also go for one further to say that Terry's focus will be on his players. He'll be on Cavan players. And at this moment in time, we have a panel of Cavan players who are very committed to Cavan and to the Cavan jersey, and those are the guys that we're focused on. We have no distractions.
Well, okay, Declan, thank you very much for speaking to Cavan TV, and let's hope that the success that has started in Brewster Park will continue.
I'm joined now by the chairman of the Cavan County Board, that's Tom O'Reilly. You said before the game we were going to win here tonight, and you're quite confident about Sunday as well, but we'll talk about tonight, a Cavan team lifting a Leinster trophy in Newbridge, something unique.
Well, after the Longford match, a new kind of luck was with us too, and that makes an awful difference in competitions like this. I felt tonight we got a fair brush from the referee, that made a huge difference too. But I think the intensity of the players playing in the league in Cavan this year is helping to improve conditions already, and it's coming out to the players, because the players every weekend are playing the games that matters. And that's what's starting to show. Tonight when the game mattered, Cavan turned the game time and time again. And all the lads would say they're in better state now. I'm looking forward to the Champions League Cavan this year. Leinster. We won in 3 finals. You know, some people say, oh, you're always in the final, always the bridesmaids. Tonight, we're the champions. I think we can drive forward. Hope we don't lose too many players to the senior division because we're a very good senior panel. And I'm looking forward to the championship as it progresses. Cork or Clare or Kerry are the next two in the championship. I think we take any of the two of them. Kerry is a big name, but Cavan teams have already beat Kerry teams often in the semi-finals. And I think this year is an important year for us to get through the junior.
It was a significant move for Cavan to enter this Leinster Championship at junior level. It gives the players a bit of a profile and something to aim for, and the players on the fringe of the panel and players coming back from injury.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, we say, like for Rory Dunn tonight, coming back at that level, you know, finding his pace, getting back after injury. Junior competition has been underrated in GAA Galland, and I'm delighted that we've been taking part in that year, because we're always picking up 1 or 2 players from it, and we're also getting a taste of success. That's very important. And, you know, tonight, Killian O'Connor came on there, Paul O'Connor came on there. Sure, it was excellent, like, fierce work for us. Possibly man of the match, like, for 40 minutes, achievement. Our own win at the field is in good performance. You know, coming here and starting to become huge, really huge assets to the senior team in a matter of time, you know, in the very near future. And that scoring from that distance, a huge confidence boost for him too, you know. And the likes of Joshua Hayes in centre back did an excellent game, keeping the game tight. The one thing I liked tonight was we turned them over. Martin Riley's strikes at the dead call, you know, pushing them forward to another man who comes back after injury. So we cannot put a bag in this Leinster Championship tonight. And it's good to see so many people travelling from Cavan, because we're hungry for success. And that's 4 provincial titles now in the last couple of years, and we're only getting better.
And the cup on its way home to Cavan tonight, and of course we're playing against Fermanagh in the backdoor competition on Sunday in Brewster Park. A nice fillip for Cavan fans and for the players, and you're quite confident heading to Enniskillen now on the back of this.
I think Cavan will always beat Fermanagh, and I believe on Sunday we'll beat them. You know, they have the Peter Canavan thing and all that, but I know that we're going to win on Sunday. Lads have trained well. They have that extra couple of weeks from the Donegal match. That will help us too. You know, and winning the Donegal match, things are low. We're playing possibly the best team, one of the best teams in Ireland. We're only looking for a result. We're looking for victory on Sunday and a role in the championship. But we'll also, the role in the championship this year will mean the junior team doing well. It helps us to have players competing for places in training sessions. And that's what makes good teams in this competition.
Tom O'Reilly, congratulations and thank you very much. Thank you. Joined now for the game, Leinster champions Cavan this evening here in Newbridge, joined by the captain, Keith Fanning. Congratulations first to you. Interesting to see a Cavan captain lifting the Leinster trophy here in Newbridge tonight. You must be very happy.
Oh, very proud. Anytime you're captain, it's always a proud moment. And in the Leinster competition, it's a great competition. We were in it this 3 years. Finally got to win.
A lot of effort put in over the years. Cavan has competed in this and always got a warm reception up here in Kildare. But tonight, Cavan were well versed in what Kildare would be putting out on the field, and the fitness level of Cavan, particularly in the defence in the second half, closed them down and went and you got the killer scores to go for victory.
Yeah, they were running on us in the first half, and we said we'd kind of close up at the back. And in fairness, anytime we lost the ball, we turned the back over and went attacking after them again. And, you know, just intensity in the work with.
The goal from Conor McClary, set up by Martin Dunn in the first half, was a game changer. You never subsequently lost the lead.
No, we were 3 points down, and you know, things went home well, but we popped over a few trees and Conor got the goal and probably settled us down a wee bit, and we pushed on from there. So.
A night that you were standing on the steps here with the president of the Leinster Council, Martin Skelly, up there with the cup. It's a memorable moment you'll take away from Newbridge here, and a nice fillip for Cavan, a victory and a trophy home to Cavan tonight.
Oh, it's a lovely feeling, surely. I haven't played a long time with Cavan, and that's the first cup I've got, so I'm happy to have it.
Sound words there from the Cavan captain, Keith Fanning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we're joined by Victoria's manager, that's Terry Hyland. Congratulations, Terry. Always nice to see a bit of silverware coming home to Cavan.
Thanks, Sean. Of course it is, yes. We entered this competition 3 years ago with the idea that we would bring on our young players and get them up to playing at a level that they may not have been getting just because they weren't on the senior panel. And, you know, we went 3 finals, and thank God we won the trophy.
Particularly in the second half, as we referred with the captain there, Keith Fanning, the defence played particularly well and closed them down because they were running at you in the first half and causing a bit of havoc there. But you got it right in the second half and went for the killer scores.
Well, that's true. Well, I would say that every one of our players were defensive minded in the second half, and they didn't have the ball. They all tackled it from a ringside line out or half forward line, turned over more ball. Our midfielders turned over more ball probably than our defenders did. So that's the modern game, and that's the intensity you have to bring to it. It's all about the work rate and the performance. And in fairness, the second half we went out and did perform. You know?
And you must be very happy with the return of great performances there by Rory Dunn, to see the performance he gave there right throughout the game, and the likes of Martin Riley here tonight, and players that will maybe back into the senior panel soon.
Yeah, well, they have a bright future. Like, I mean, in fairness, both fellas coming back from 2 cruciate injuries. Like, Rory was very, very promising on the 21, played senior probably at 18, 19. He got a very bad injury and it's taken just nearly almost 2 years to get back from that. And the same with Martin. Like, Martin got his injury last year in the early part of the year. He's worked very, very hard to get back from his injury, and like, his work rate tonight proved that he's getting there.
A great fillip for Cavan fans, the band that travelled here to Newbridge tonight. It was great to see them here. Going to Brewster Park Enniskillen on Sunday. This is a bit of a fillip for Cavan football and just the boost that we need going into that game.
Yeah, well, every win is a boost, and of course, I mean, our senior players in fairness not down to watch the game, which shows how close-knit these group of fellas are, because in fairness I would have seen other years where fellas may not have bonded as well together, but these fellas are very close together, and and Friday night in fairness, these lads come in and help out the seniors training sessions as well, so that's that's the kind of comradeship we stay out them.
Terry Hyland, congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean.
We're at the Brewster Park in Enniskillen. We can see the Cavan team heading out onto the field. There's great expectation. It's the first round of the qualifiers and Cavan are expected to do well. We'll talk to Terry Hyland a little bit later on and maybe some of the team, and we'll report at half time to see how the things are going. That's the first half over here in Brewster Park. Some very spirited football, and the Cavan team did well in the first part. Most of the forwards haven't scored points. At the first half ending 5 points to 8. Certainly in the second part of the first half, Fermanagh seemed to take control of the game, and number 20 particularly strong coming up from the half-back line, and number 15 was also very fast, and the Cavan backs couldn't compete with them. There were some very controversial decisions also with the referee, and at one point there were 2 Cavan players down on the pitch, one later had to be stretched off. So it's these type of decisions that sometimes can affect the mood of the players, but I'm sure that Terry will get the spirit going in the second half and Cavan will come out a rejuvenated team. The conditions are ideal here, slightly overcast but the pitch very dry and very playable. There's a great number of support from Cavan as usual. There's only a short hop down to Enniskillen from Cavan, and we hope to talk to Terry and some of the officials and players at the end of the second half. So that's it all, Louise, from Brewster Park.
What a turnaround, a phenomenal victory for Cavan. You must be very pleased.
Yeah, exactly, very pleased. Like half time there, within a half time, we knew the first half we hadn't performed, but at the same time we knew there was a second half in us there. Like, we've been training hard there the last 6 weeks since Donegal game. Obviously with the juniors doing well, training's been very competitive because the juniors have been in training with us, so we knew we had it in the legs the second half and we could bring that performance out in the second half.
They were ahead by, say, 8 points to 5 at half time, and I'm sure there was a few things said in the dressing room there at half time to get out and perform as you can. Yeah,
exactly. Like at half time there was no point in losing the head either. We were still in the game, and we knew if we come out in the second half and played as well as we can play, that we'd come back, and at the end of the day we'd come out victorious, and we showed that in the second half, that we're well fit to play football. You've seen the substitutes to come in there, Declan McKiernan great game to juniors during the week, come in and stepped up and done it again today, and him along with a number of other fellas.
And the loss of David Gibney could have been a real blow to many a team, but as you said, the introduction of Declan McKernan let you drive on, and it's great to see that David was able to go up and sit on the bench and be back there. It seems to be only a knee injury.
Yeah, hopefully David's back for the next day, and I will see the next few days how he is, but like that's it, it's not a 15-man game. We have 30 lads in training, 30 plus, and we know that we can count on anyone on any given day to stand up and perform.
The Fermanagh defence had grown in stature coming up to half time, and they had curtailed the best efforts you could muster because there was a lot of Cavan wides there in that first half, 6 or 7 wides. But then you opened them up once you got the goals, and that really drove Cavan on.
Yeah, exactly. Like at half time, probably we weren't happy with how we were performing, and we knew if we upped it and we ran at them like we know we can, that they wouldn't be able to cope with us. And we showed that in the second half. We cut through them for 3 goals. With Garode running through, Eugene in full forward. I suppose it might have been a lot of pressure on Eugene after the last day. First half, they had him wrapped up, but second half, everyone else stood up to the play, and thankfully we got the right result in the end.
Niall Smith, congratulations to you, and hope you enjoyed the draw for the next round.
Cheers, thanks very much, Sean.
Thank you.
Pádraig O'Reilly, a brilliant win for Cavan today, and into the draw in the next round in the championship tomorrow morning, I believe, on Morning Ireland. It must be a great feeling after that great win.
Yeah, it's great to have a winning feeling back. Sorry, it's been a while since Cavan won a game in the championship, so but we knew we'd come strong. We probably didn't expect to be as far back as 6 points 10 minutes into the second half, but we knew we had it in our legs to push on once we got that break. And Garode's goal really did turn out to be the difference. It really turned the game on its head, and from there on in there was only going to be one winner.
The Fermanagh defence were growing in stature as they came up to half time, and they were leading, of course, at half time. There must have been a few things said in the dressing room there to get out and do your stuff in the second half, as Terry Hyland believe you can do.
Yeah, I think we were a bit tentative in the first half. We were kind of playing it to their hands. We were kind of carrying it aimlessly into them, and that's what they wanted, and kind of long, hopeful balls. The second half we were far more direct, moving at a pace, and that's what they couldn't handle. They hadn't a chance to get a hands on our play, so that was a big difference. That step up in intensity. We probably didn't do ourselves justice in the first half, and we were probably lucky to be only 3 points down, and it turned out 6 after 10 minutes into the second half. But a few vital blocks. Jason McLaughlin made 2 heroic blocks there at the end, and then Garode stepped up and stuck it in the back of the net. And
I saw yourself coming up along the sideline there, and you were in about 3rd gear, but as they descended on you, they seemed to go into 4th or 5th gear and cut away from them. It's amazing the confidence you have when you grab the lead like that in a very close game.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a 4th or 5th gear, but yeah, at that stage everyone wanted, it's when you're winning, everyone wants to get on the ball. And I suppose I looked up, and there was tired men, so I knew I had to carry it myself and draw the free. But Niall Smith there nearly had to be carried off, and Mossy Cord, they put in a huge effort, and David Gibney in the first half, they really put the bodies on the line, and that showed in the result there today.
They say that goals win games. 3 goals, phenomenal, really game changers here this afternoon in Brewster Park, but you needed them because Fermanagh really put it up to you, which was a good thing in a way, that you come out on the winning side of a very tough encounter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we started well in the first half, and we had a couple of goal chances, and we didn't take them, and that had a big bearing on the first half. It kind of, you miss a goal chance, it lifts the opposition, and your heads drop maybe, and we were on the different side of it in the second half. We seen the lift we got from Garode's goal. It was a fantastic goal, and I think straight away then Niall McDermott or someone had the ball in the back of the net, and we were winning every 50-50 ball, every kick out, every breaking ball. There was only going to be one winner. We knew we had the work done. It was in the legs. It was just a case of showing it.
And when you see defenders like Damien Riley joining in and slashing over a brilliant point, and also Thomas Corr putting over a great point, they're the type of inspirational scores you knew that you would on course for victory then.
Yeah, there's leaders all over the pitch, but I'll bring back, Dara Tyen in his first championship game was phenomenal. He didn't give a man a sniff, and Jason McLaughlin came in, and Killian was unlucky to go off in the first half. He was booked, but they really kept us in the game when times are tough. And then I suppose when you get ahead, it's easy to kind of push on and drive it home. But there was leaders all over the field there, especially in that second half. They stood up and were counted.
And finally, Pádraig, any preference who you'd like to get in the draw, or I suppose just roll on the draw and let it happen?
Absolutely, yeah. You just want to be in it. All week that's what you want to be. You want to be in the draw on Monday morning, and thankfully that's where we are.
Pádraig Riley, thanks for talking to us after the game, and the best of luck.
Thanks very much, Sean.
Joined now by the victorious Cavan manager Terry Hyland. Phenomenal result here in Brewster Park. What a hard-fought game. Goals win games. You got 3 of them, decisive style.
Yes, well, I think that we deserved it because of our work rate. We upped our work rate so much in the second half. We were creating chances the first half. I think Eugene Keaton probably 2 goal chances in the first 10 minutes we didn't convert. Just that we weren't converting our chances early on. We kicked 15 wides for Fermanagh 7 or 8. But the statistic is that you have to get more on the scoreboard than the opposition.
In the first half, before the Fermanagh defence got on top for the latter stage of the second half, you had chances of goals, particularly Eugene Keating, so it showed that you were creating chances and you just didn't take them at that stage, but boy, you took them when it really mattered.
Well, that's true, and we had some standout performances in the second half from some great individuals like Mossy Carr had a wonderful second half, Gerard McKeown and Niall McDermott won a lot of bringing ball. We won a lot of dirty ball in the second half. We weren't winning the first half, and perhaps we were a little bit nervous coming into this game because you're playing your neighbours, you're playing Fermanagh, and West Cavan was well involved in our squad and probably was a little bit of pressure there.
It was a tough game to win. They really put it up to you, but you'll be thankful for that. You were down at half-time, and to win a tough game like this, it's great for the panel.
Well, that's true. It's about performances at this stage. We're in the qualifiers. We need to perform every day we go out, and we need to get to the performance that we're performing for 70 minutes, and that's what this qualifier route for us is probably all about. If we can get lads up to there to get them to believe in themselves and to believe in their ability, because undoubtedly the ability is there, but sometimes we just don't bring that to the fore because of maybe a phobia or whatever reasons. We just don't believe in ourselves.
Gerard McKernan, I think he created 2 of the goals. He put the ball through on a plate for the players to stick the ball in the back of the net. He seems to have a great capacity to run at defences and make scores for other players. Will you maybe be utilising more on the 40?
Well, we started Gerard on the 40. We moved him back in the midfield and David Gibney had to go off. That probably kind of changed what it was. In fairness, he moved well from the midfield forward and supported well. We probably weren't giving that support to our inside line the first half. Our half-forward line was probably hanging back a little bit much. And, you've got to realise the days when you go out that you have to go with the opposition.
Any preference in the draw, as I was saying to Pádraig Riley, just let it roll on and whoever you get, so be it? So be it,
that's it. You get whoever you get. It's again, as I said, it's about us going out and performing no matter who we get.
As a tough game that Fermanagh put up to you at half-time, I suppose you had a few words with them to go out and perform and showcase the talents that you know that they have. They delivered this afternoon. I suppose it was a good way to come from behind, and that'll stand them in good stead.
Well, it's always much easier to solve a problem at half-time than it is if something goes again in the second half. It's harder along the line, it's harder management because getting message in is not as easy. At half-time we sat down, we had, it wasn't kicking our bottles or shaking the tables or anything like that. We sat down and we discussed what we felt was going wrong, and we asked the players to contribute to what they thought they could do to change it around, and in fairness they did.
Terry Hyland, congratulations and thank you very much.
That brings to an end All About Sport for this week. From the Top of the Town studios, Connolly Street, Cavan. I will be back again next Wednesday evening at the same time to bring you more sport on CavanTV.com. Thanks to the Cavan GAA for taking time out to speak with us on the programme this evening. All About Sport was produced by Brian Daly and Michael Goldrick, and the show was directed by David Van Standen. If you want your sport featured on the programme, send an email to drumlinmedia@gmail.com. Stay with CavanTV.com, as up next is our weekly music show, The Green Room, presented by Paul Cox. Until next Wednesday at 7, goodbye from me, Louise O'Reilly.